Hello and welcome back to the LFC transfer room. Today we have a match preview for the Villarreal vs Liverpool game in the Champions League semi-final second leg. Joined by two beautiful lads today, Joe and Jay. Jay, how are you doing today?
All good, mate. Yeah, very good.
Mm, Decent result on when was it? Saturday. I was at the game. I should really be remembering that, should I? A bit of
Yeah,
a boring one, but we got the job done, wasn't it?
yeah, mate. Like you say, this time of the season, just 3 points. I don't care how we do it, as long as we do it. So happy days.
Yeah, and Drew, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Excited for the game tomorrow, but looking forward to the game on the weekend as well. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. First game in a while that I've been to. I've trekked up Mount Everest of St James's Park's away end, about 400 flights of stairs, and then I was in row X, which is the second to last row at the back, which is always lovely. So I was absolutely knackered. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I miss going to games, especially living up here in the northeast. It's hard to get to games. But everyone joining, Jen, Gary, hello. If you're new to the channel as well, make sure you do leave a like on the video and subscribe. Turn the bell notification on. It helps us out a bunch. But going into the game, we're obviously 2-1 up, Drew. Or 2-0 up, sorry, not 2-1 up. 2-0 up, pretty dominant game. Villarreal didn't really offer much in the first leg. It's Gerard Moreno is back for them. I think he's their second leading goal scorer after Dan Juma, but there was a massive focal point put on him missing the first leg. Do you think his presence is going to change the result much?
I don't think it will stop us advancing to the final. I think it'll definitely improve their play. Caught a few of their games earlier against Bayern, and he definitely was kind of that focal point for their attack, the transition and getting the ball into players, holding it up, breaking through the lines, that kind of stuff. So we'll definitely make them a better team, but I don't see them making it like a nervy match for Liverpool or the chance where we don't go through. I don't think it'll be. I think it will just be a professional match, and Liverpool will see it out.
Yeah, Jay, it's 2-0. We're 2-0 up. Yes, we're not at home, but surely a foot and a half's already got to be in the final, hasn't it? Even though Klopp and the players won't admit it.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I just hope we don't go there defensively. I know that's not an our makeup and not something we do, but I just want us to treat it as any other game that you need to win. So we're positive and try and get more goals rather than defend the lead, which I don't think we will do, but I just hope we don't do that.
Yeah, true. Obviously, their style of play is a lot more defensive. Open with them having to get 2 goals and opening up, it's going to play into our hands. That isn't it? They're going to be not sitting in them 2 blocks of 4 like they did in the first leg.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to be more offensive, obviously, because they need to get goals. But I'm wondering if they're going to try to wait for the second half to do that, to see if they can play the same structure in the first half and see if they can nick a goal before really pushing in the second half. Because if we come out and score, a goal or two in the first 15 minutes on counters because they're trying to push us out of the gate, then that's game over. So I think they'll try to ride it out a bit and see if they can nick a goal, before they go out on an all-out offensive. Because the worst thing for them would be to concede a goal or two in the first half and have it be over there.
Yeah. Jen, appreciate the super sticker. Thank you so much. All your donations to the channel are massively appreciated. But Jay, as Drew said there, yes, they have to attack, but they have to defend too, don't they? It's such a hard position for them to be in where, yes, they can defend against us, but we're eventually going to break it down. And if they open up, then it plays into our hands. Do you think Unai Emery's going to start off the game defensively, as Drew said there, or do you think he's going to go and try and catch Liverpool and Klopp off guard?
He's made a good point there, Drew, to be fair, because that is very true. If Villarreal concede in the first 10, 15 minutes, all the Reds will probably go down and they'll just be waiting for it to finish, really. But on the other hand, Villarreal have never been this close to being in the final now, where they've sort of got to go for it. They can't play the way they did at Anfield. It reminded me of Milan when we played them. It was as if they just couldn't be arsed, really. So I think they are going to have to be more offensive, just whether or not they do it early on, straight off the bat, or, like Drew said, waiting for the second half.
Yeah, and we saw a much changed lineup, Drew, against Newcastle. Trent Alexander-Arnold got a full rest. Fabinho, Thiago, both made, started on the bench. Who else? Salah as well. So, are you expecting the strongest side to come out against Villarreal tomorrow?
I think it will be a bit of a mix. Like, I think we might decide to rest a few, in midfield, maybe. I don't know. It does seem like we were saving all our guns for this match, but, I know the Klopp and the boys will not be saying that they're thinking ahead at the weekend, but that is potentially our toughest game in the Premier League for the rest of the season. And I don't know, it's one of those ones where do you start with everybody on the field and try to win the game in the first half or as soon as possible? Or is it one where you save a player or two and, put them on late if we need to? So I think it will be a bit of a mix. Actually, maybe someone like Mane will get a rest. Salah got a rest on the weekend, but, maybe he'll try to save the legs of Mane at this game. I think it will be one or two changes like that, but I think you'll get a pretty strong lineup, at Villarreal.
Yeah, Jay. Obviously, Konate's been our Champions League centre-back, so I expect him to go straight in. Two of the main ones that might be, missing from the team might be Naby Keita and Luis Diaz, who both played 90 minutes against Newcastle. I know Mane, obviously, as well, could be dropped, but Firmino's not back. Divock Origi was back in training today. Do you think, even though the likes of Diaz played 90 minutes, he is going to start Diaz up front with maybe Jota and Salah, or even Manny comes in there?
I think Sinakas will play left back, Tefo. I think Konate will come in. I don't think Henderson will start. And it might sound a bit mad, but I think he might actually give Origi a go, just because he can afford to. I think Mane will definitely be rested, and I think Jota will start, and I think Salah will start. So I think he might rest Diaz for Origi. I know that'll probably raise a few eyebrows, but just got a weird feeling he might play him just for what he's done for us recently, give him a little goal in the team so he feels involved.
Yeah, this is a good point by Helio. No one should be rested. Villarreal were beaten 2-1 by Alvarez. He made a total of 8 changes to keep the players fresh. Obviously, that's a very good point, but a lot of people would say that Trent's our best player, at least top 3 players. He's got a full rest. He's been fully rested. Salah was given a bit of a rest, and as much as people don't like Milner and the Henderson partnership, it's been good for us this season. I think every time they've started, we've won, including 2 5-0 wins. So, it was a good game to rest players, and we ended up winning it. And the team wasn't really in full pelt against Newcastle, from what I saw anyway. It looked very second gear. So I would be personally expecting him to start the strongest team he can. And I've got a feeling he's going to start that Fabinho, Thiago, Henderson midfield against them. Just because Henderson was brought off as well. But one other thing I do want to go into is, it just slipped me mind what I was going to do. No, the other game. So Real Madrid versus Man City. It's like choosing between the devil and the devil. It's we don't really want to be facing any of them if we do get through. But if we get through, Drew, who do you want to face?
I wanted to face Real. I like the idea of some revenge. I think that besides Benzema, their front line, their defense is actually, something that our forward line would tear apart, to be honestly, or at least we'd get the better advantage of. And I also want Man City to crumble. I think if they get knocked out of the Champions League, that could just be, the dominoes that just topple the rest of their season, and that'd be the path to the quadruple. But I honestly think that if we get to the final as well, we have the psychological edge of just having done it before, having knocked them out of the FA Cup. I think experience really matters in this, and the fact that we've won it now, that gives us a huge edge in the squad. So I'd want Real, but I don't care either way.
Yeah. Jay, being a Scouser, our two biggest rivals are Everton and Manchester United. They always will be, But how heartbreaking would it be to hand Manchester City their first European title if we were to lose to them in the final? I feel like I would never get over it.
Yeah, it'd be horrendous, to be honest, mate. In recent times, City are arguably our biggest rival at the minute in terms of what we play for. And like under Rafa, it was Chelsea. Just different decades. It's weird. It seems to be one team that you're always coming up against. But yeah, mate, if we are to lose the final, I'd much rather it beat Real Madrid than City. I'd never want to be the team that gave City their first European Cup. You'd never hear the end of it. And if they won the league as well, it's like double a smack in the face. If we did get Real Madrid, though, I do think we'd beat them. I don't know how they've got through the Chelsea and City games, to be honest. I know it was a great game against City, but City should have been well high and dry before Real Madrid even made the comeback. But yeah, I don't know if my heart can take another City final. Well, a final against City, should I say.
Yeah. Drew, you mentioned there, obviously the Champions League finals, the final game of the season. We would already know who's going to win who's won the FA Cup. It better be us because Chelsea are absolutely rubbish. So we could have two trophies there, and we will know as well who's won the Premier League. How important is the Premier League race to this result? Because by the end of this week, we're going to know who's in the final. So we might be known for 4 games that Liverpool versus Manchester City will be the Champions League final. Do you think that mentally is going to get to players because they're already locked in a head-on battle for the remaining 4 games of the season, aren't they?
Yeah, I think it's going to free us up and then just add more pressure for Manchester City. Because I think regardless, we're in that mode where if we win every game for the rest of the season, we're going to win all the trophies except the one that's out of our hand in the Premier League. Whereas I think City really, all the pressure's on them not to slip up in the Premier League, to get their first Champions League title. So I think if we miss out on the Premier League, if City doesn't slip up there, we'll have that added motivation going into the final. And you still have the pressure on City's shoulders for needing to do that for the first time. So I think it really plays into our hand, all the psychological edge and all the build-up. I don't think they can really carry on like, oh, we won the Premier League and let's go win the Champions League. I think it's theirs. They very much have the narrative of they can't let this slip up and they have to do it. Whereas Liverpool just have, their tails up, excited for the chase. Like, we're all seeing like the best season we've seen in probably all of our lifetimes. So.
Yeah. Jay, Andrew, as well, I just want to ask you this before we move on to a few predictions for our game. What would you prefer? Let's say we've won the FA Cup. We were going to win the FA Cup. Would you prefer Pep and Man City to the Premier League title or winning the Champions League against them? I'll start with you, Jay.
Does it mean we lose the final to City?
Yeah, so you can only have one, the Prem or the Champions League. And you lose the Champions League final to them.
It's a tough one, that lad. That's like a proper horrendous question because I really want the Premier League just because we didn't get to celebrate it properly last time during COVID and everything. But at the same time, the thought of us being the team that gave them their first European Cup and we're European Cup royalty, like I think it does the rest of the Premier League teams heads in how many times we've won it and how many finals we reach. So it sort of appeals to me to take us even further away from the rest of them because I think the closest United with 3 in it.
Yeah,
so then I think we'd be 4 European Cups ahead.
Yeah, if I'm right, I think we'd be 1 behind every other English team who's won the trophy combined. So we would have won it 7, they would have won it 8 times. I think.
No, I just mean Champions League in general.
Fair enough.
Won it 6, and we United have only won it 3 times.
Yeah.
So to say we'd be 4 European Cups ahead of them, just makes it seem that further away from getting to our status in Europe, if you know what I mean. But Oh, mate. I'm going to say the Champions League because it's the end of the season and I don't want that to bum us out if we didn't if we won the Prem, we'd lose in the Champions League final, take the shine off it type of thing, do you know what I mean? So I don't know, mate. I'd take either. I honestly can't say. That's hard.
Yeah, I mean, Drew, we would have thought a few years ago we would be talking about this, would we rather win the Prem or the Champions League? But now we're close to both of them. We're close to a historic quadruple, but hopefully we win them all. But if you have to choose, what are you going with, the Prem or the Champions League?
As much as I want the Premier League, especially with the no celebrations, but also for me personally as a fan from abroad, just to level it up with Manchester United, to get them sweating on that front for total Premier or total league titles. I'd still say Champions League because I wouldn't want Pep to win that. And I think that we've hit a groove to where I'm really excited for next season. Like, this is reminding me of the season when we did win the Champions League and we fell a point behind the City. And then the next season, we just swept the board with the entire Premier League. I think the knock-on effect of us winning the Champions League again and City missing out would be huge for next season. So I'll take the Champions League, but I'll take them both while they're still on the table.
Yeah, do you know what it's the thing is as well? It's not like we've never lost the Premier League by a point. Like, it's happened like 2 or 3 times now, or like within at least 3 points we've lost the league. So it's it's not unusual for us, and I think the Champions League just means more, doesn't it? Like, yeah, the league might be harder, but there's just something about winning the Champions League, isn't it? It's like,
do you know what it is as well? You don't lose the Premier League, do you?
Yeah,
you lose a Champions League final. You
Yeah.
can't lose the Premier League. You're chasing it. Do you know what I mean? So you haven't actually lost anything. They just didn't slip up. Whereas if you lose the Champions League final, you lost the Champions League final. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
like it's heartbreaking, like thinking, oh, we're 1 point behind these, but at the end of the day, you drop points in stupid positions. They've done
Exactly.
it. We've just done it one more time, and I think if you ask City fans the exact same question, they'd easily say the Champions League.
Yeah.
I don't care what any of them say about, the Premier League's more important. The reason why Pep Guardiola was brought into Manchester City was to win the Champions League. That is his only job. He could have won no league titles and have won the Champions League and he'd still be in a job. Like, so I'd go with the Champions League too, but we're winning it all, as Jen and Anthony said there, and so no need to worry at all. But going into the Villarreal game finally, already 2-0 up. Going to be a difficult game for Villarreal to come back in. I think most people are in agreement. But I'll start with you, Drew. What do you think the score predictions are, and do you think we'll advance to the final?
Yes, I think we'll advance to the final, and I think it'll either be 2-0 or 2-1. I think we'll see it out. Might be might be a tough game. We'll have to be at our best, but I don't see it anything other than a professional performance that we see it through and, win by a goal or 2.
Yeah, definitely. Before I get into you, Jay, if you are new to the channel, please do leave a like on the video. Helps us out a bunch. Also, subscribe and turn the bell notification on to get notified for all of our videos and live streams. But Jay, what are your score predictions, and do you think we'll be heading to Paris?
Yeah, I do, yeah. I think we'll win 2-1 because the only reason I'm saying we'll concede is just because I imagine Villarreal will then, at some point in the game, will just throw everything forwards, probably long balls and waiting for the drop down and stuff. So I do think we'll win, but I think there'll be a bit of pressure at some point under Villarreal, but we'd have 3 goals on them anyway, so it shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. Such wood.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-0, more confident. I think that even with Gerard Moreno, I just don't think they're going to pose any threat to us. And our high line, I don't think they're going to have experienced anything like that in La Liga this season. So I think they're just going to be running offside all day. But one final prediction from you both: the Man City versus Real Madrid game. Real Madrid are down 4-3, if I'm correct. Man City won the first leg 4-3. Drew, I'll start with you. Who do you think's going to win that game, and who do you think will come through to the final, possibly against Liverpool?
I think Real is going to actually beat City. I think they'll edge it out, potentially get to extra time, and they'll nick it. I think the atmosphere will be too much. I think the players will crack, and Real will get there.
Yeah, probably the Manchester City's biggest ever game, Jay, in terms of the pressure that's on them. They're going into that tie, one goal up. They definitely have the better team. They easily have the fitter squad compared to Real Madrid. It's in their hands to lose, isn't it?
Yeah, I think a big one tomorrow is if Casemiro's fit.
He is.
Because I think he was a
is.
massive loss in the first leg for them, because the midfield's ancient, innit? And Modric and Kris aren't very physical midfielders even when they were in the 20s. They're not big fellas, they're not physical, where Casemiro does all the dog work and lets them obviously play. So if he plays, it'll be much more interesting. But I personally think the game matters on if City get an early goal. I think if City get an early goal, they'll roll them. I think they'll just roll Madrid. If they don't, I think the pressure will get to them. Whenever you see Pep needing the result, you just see him on the side, his head's gone. It always just goes. So yeah, I think the start's massively important. And if Casemiro plays, I think Madrid can get a result, as long as City don't get an early goal.
Yeah, I think, one thing that's so clear when you see the two sides play is Real Madrid never look beaten. We've seen it so many times where City, they go into a big knockout game in the Champions League and the occasion gets to them. Whereas, Real Madrid, how many times you don't know when to stay down, and we saw it in the first leg. Benzema's getting goals from absolutely nothing. He should not be scoring that goal. And I've just got a feeling that, the crowd's going to be unbelievable. I think the pressure's going to get to the players' head, similar to first leg at Anfield when we played them. And, I can see maybe a 2-1 going to extra time and then Madrid just nicking a goal or something. Ideal situation for us is they play 120 minutes and then Real Madrid score in the last second with an own goal from Edison or somebody, and then the heads melt off and they lose every single game in the Premier League. That's the ideal situation. Probably won't happen, but we move. But I think that's all. I don't think there's really too much else to talk about going into the Villarreal game. So Drew, Jay, appreciate you both for joining me today. Go and check out both of their Twitters are on screen. If you are new to the channel as well, please do leave a like on the video and subscribe. Turn that bell notification on, and Louis will be live with the watch along tomorrow, and we will have the post-match reaction straight away. So yeah, appreciate everyone for joining.